we had phonological components analysis. Phonological components analysis targets word finding for people who have anomic aphasia or another moderate in severity aphasia. Its purpose is to strengthen access to phonological word forms, improve naming accuracy and retrieval speed, enhance self-cueing strategies for word retrieval, and facilitate generalization to untreated words and conversational speech. This intervention strategy has been proven to improve naming for trained items. It supports generalization to untrained words, helps clients develop effective self-cueing strategies, and strengthen phonological output networks in the brain. Now, I'm going to show you how to utilize this in therapy with a client. This is a demonstration of phonological components analysis. So, you would have a sheet like this that has the first sound association, final sound, number of syllables, and a rhyme. This in the middle is the picture that we're using for the first sound association, final sound, number of syllables, and a rhyme. So what a client would do was try to identify this cup. If they cannot identify this cup, they would start with the first sound. What is the first sound of cup? They would say C. Then they would write C. What's another word that starts with C? They would write the word cat, or another word that starts with C. What is the final sound of this picture? Cup. They would write P. How many syllables does cup have? They would write 1. What rhymes with cup? They would write tup. After this demonstration, they have seen the first sound, a first sound association that starts with the same sound, the final sound, a rhyme, and a number of syllables. You would then ask your client, what is this? And then they would say cup. This is another example. You would ask a client, what is this? If they cannot identify, we go through it together. This is a chair. What's the first sound? Ch. What's another word that starts with ch? Chat. What's the final sound of chair? How many syllables does chair have? 1. And what rhymes with chair? Air. This facilitates generalization of not only the first sound, but also words that rhyme with this and another word that starts with the first sound. This is another activity that involves phonological components analysis. So you would ask the client, what is this? And let them try to read what is written. If they cannot, you ask them to think about the sounds in the word. Think about each sound in this word and let's sound it out. A, p, l. What is this? Apple. Here's another example of the same thing that we just watched. You would ask them, what is this? And to read this word. If they can't, you ask them to think about the sounds in this word and sound it out. Elephant. What is this? Elephant. If they still cannot identify the word, you can go back to this chart that we have already filled out, but you can use this for elephant. Another tip that we have is to use words from the client's everyday life so that they can generalize those words. Also, another tip that we have is you can use dry erase markers, dry erase boards, so you're not wasting so much paper, or you don't need pens, and it's a little bit more fun to use dry erase markers and dry erase boards.